Hey guys, it's Serge here with the Gator Prius. Just want to do a short video for a lot of folks of you who've been DMing me to kind of a quick walk over of my Prius build and my trailer here. So just to kind of show you what I got going on. Marketing is, I don't know, been working really well for me. I know having a Prius for doing pressure washing is hilarious, but honestly it works for my lean setup that I'm trying to run. Starting stages, okay. If I'm running this in 2 years, maybe I'm in trouble, but for starting, this Prius hauls this trailer. People ask me what kind of trailer this is. I bought it from Facebook Marketplace. That it was actually a jet ski trailer that a guy converted it to I guess like non-jet ski use, and he cut aluminum floors from like pool diving boards, which are lightweight. They're obviously pool is bleach resistant materials there, aluminum, so that's good. So this trailer's super light. I mean, without stuff on there, I mean, you can just move this thing around with single-handedly. Very lightweight. Prius, I mean, it's just a Prius. Nothing special going on here. People asking me about hitches. This is just a class 1 hitch from Amazon. I mean, you can find them all over internet. You know, just install them. Pretty straightforward. They bolt on into factory bolts. Did buy $50 from Amazon, like a direct wire plug. You know, so you can use your factory sockets to connect into organization. But I mean, no trucks, so that's what I run. Organized bins, window cleaning, pressure washing bin, my A-frame signs, one for the front of the car, one on the back of the car when I'm working. So these are phenomenal to advertise your work and what are you doing, your number and maybe your offers. But these are phenomenal whenever I'm pressure washing a house or backside of the house and I'm not in the front to talk to customers. So my phone number is always right there by the curb. So my boots and everything, transfer pump, my drill. Anyway, so back to the wiring. So you know, it's a plug and play type of thing, nothing special here. I ran my own wiring here, just bungee it down so you know it doesn't drag on the floor. Kind of prevents that. I did buy this Euro style ball hitch. I mean, you just type in Euro something ball. This is not 2-inch. This is I think inch, whatever the smallest. I think it's an inch and I don't remember. I'll tell you right now what ball height that is for. So there you go. So they come in different heights from Amazon. They have these versions in a different styles, but that's the height that I went. So it kind of gives me a very good lift. And as you can see, it's not that big bulky 2-inch because I don't have them for Priuses. So just a dinky little tow bar. I mean, for bicycles and what use or not. But I don't have a lot of weight. That's why people have been asking me, where do I get my water? What are these tanks here on the back? No bulk tanks. I do not have a buffer tank. Sorry, not bulk tank, buffer tanks. Because my unloader here does not have a port to where to run into buffer tank. Unfortunately, I did not know of this when I bought this pressure washer off the marketplace. But you know, if you're shopping new or shopping, that's just kind of take a note of that. If your unloader cannot be removed and replaced with the one with the exit port, then there's no way around it. I got a cat pump here, so that's the setup that they run. And on this model, as you can see, 67DX G1 version, they do not have the version. They have a different version that has a port out here, so if you have that, you're good. You can upgrade to a buffer tank later on. Unfortunately, I can't, so whatever. The setup is lean. Might go to my next replacement guy if I scale up, and I'll go build me an 8 GPM machine, but it's a 4 GPM setup. So this is my chem tanks. That's a chem tank, so that's where I have my SH here in bulk, and I use a transfer pump that's utilizes drill. You can get one of these on Amazon. There you go. That's a plastic basic transfer pump, no metal pieces in there so it doesn't corrode. I have like pieces of garden hose, one I came with, one I cut up my own. So to dump it into a tank, hook it up my drill, and just transfer whatever chems I need into my batch mix tank. Or if you run buckets, you know, those Harbor Freight or Lowe's buckets, I mean, they're fine as long as you know where your markings are. So I'll pull like maybe 1 gallon of bleach, maybe 3/4 of a gallon of bleach and the rest is water. For my 2% and 1.5%, there's batch mix calculators online that you can look up. There's a tons of them. So whatever percentage you want, you mix it in. I do not run downstream injection. I run XJet only. So yeah, there's my bucket. I set it to whatever I'm spraying, and if it's a smaller surface, I don't need all 5 gallons. I just mix maybe 3 gallons. It's not too heavy to carry with me if I'm walking down the long driveway. The longer your hose that you have here that connects into your XJet gun wash, gun to spray the chemicals down, you know, then you can just set this bucket somewhere in the middle of the driveway and just have like 100 or 50-foot line of that clear hose, so you don't have to carry this thing with you. So but it gives you a lot more control on your percentage mixes, so it's not, you know, just 1% or 1.2%, whatever you're gonna get with downstream. And I don't know how hot you can really go with the downstream injector. I don't know. I've heard it's always like 1% or 1.5. I don't know, on the low end. But this you can spray 3, 4, whatever. I don't know. I heard you can even get it to 5 or 6. I'm not sure. I never needed to go that hot. But my 18-inch surface cleaner is mounted here. Everything's bungeed down. Everything's super tight. Nothing's going anywhere. That's my gas can. So just vent it out once in a while, because if it's on the sun, it gets bulged up a little bit. My 200 feet of pressure hose reel that is mounted straight in the tongue of my trailer, and my hoses obviously I secured with bungee so they don't go anywhere. And this one's locked up with the pin here. And this is my giraffe hose reel for garden hose. I use Flexzilla only. The best hoses in the market, cannot be beat. Prove me wrong. I tried so many other brands from Amazon, almost everything you name it. I tried it and returned it all back because they are not as kink free as Flexzilla. This is by far the best hose in the market. I haven't seen anything better, so they can have my money any day. So not sponsored by them. I wish I did, but Flexzilla for the win. Best hoses out there. That's 100 feet right here. I have another 100 feet right there in the car in case I get into a pinch. I haven't unwinded onto my reel yet, but what I like about this giraffe reel, that it actually auto-winds your hose here and kind of like lets it go in the tight, I guess whatever, compressed winding loops, versus pressure reel here. It doesn't have this, so you have to kind of guide the cable with your hand, which is not the end of the world, but you got to make sure that you, as you're winding, you know, you're not winding in one spot, because you will run out of clearance. And once they start hitting that tube here, you'll be in trouble and kind of have to unwind it and kind of reposition your cable. So that's the difference between these two. I wish they had that mechanism at some point. Maybe if I would be rich, I'll afford like a crazy expensive pressure washer, pressure line hose reel, but that's the cheapest at Amazon. I don't know, like 120, 130, whatever they run for. They're all pretty much the same. On the low end, they all come from same manufacturer. They all look the same, just different brands. Giraffe, again, like this is the only one type that I found that is that has this kind of feature and has this option where you can actually bolt it onto the trailer. That's why I like this. I drilled a hole here through the handle and through there, so a lot of times if my hose aligns, you know, I just align those holes, put a bolt through, so that way it's kind of serves the same mechanism as this, so it doesn't get unwound when I'm driving on the highway. Sometimes if I have extra bungees, you know, I'll just bungee this handle somewhere other part of my trailer, so it doesn't unwind my hose as I'm driving on the highway, but never had an issue with that. The way it's plumbed, you know, my pressure hose is here. I ran the so that's where the factory whip line ends. I had to add an extension whip line. I don't remember what it is. It's either 4 feet, 5 feet. I remember probably like less than 5 feet, I think. Whip line to my pressure washer here. Do have a gauge here, so I know how much pressure I'm putting out, so I can dial it in. Depends whether I'm cleaning a new concrete or older concrete, or if I need more pressure on older concrete, you know, to clean something. So definitely need a gauge for that. My water filtration garden hose from Flexzilla, also had to buy a separate whip line that goes into here, goes through filter. I did put a ball valve here so I can shut it off when my pressure washer, let's say, not running. I can disconnect my water line right here, so it's not spraying water all over me, and then I can fill up my batch tank right here bulk tank that I'm mixing batch here. From, let's say I put 1 gallon of chemicals, I need to add the rest of the water, rest amount of the water in there. That's what I use. I just cut the water here, fill it up, hook it back up to the filter, turn on the water, boom, now it's going back to the pressure washer. So that gives me good control. I like that. Now filters also has a quick disconnect here in case it gets clogged up or broken or something. I can bypass it all together with the same system. Quick connect is going to go straight into my pressure washer, bypassing this whole filter if I need to remove it. So that's on that set. That's a 15-gallon chem tank that I have. Obviously I don't drive around with it being full. I never saw the need. I mean, I don't have that many jobs that would require me going through 15 gallons of concentrated chemicals for driveways, house washes, you know. So yeah, I have a bigger tank at home with SH that if it does get low, you know, I just pull up and transfer chems back into this. But no buffer tank. I only run water line straight to the house spigots. And 4 GPM machine has been working well for me in that sense, and I never felt the need for a buffer tank or that the water flow was not enough yet. So we'll see if I run into the issue. I mean, we'll see, but hopefully I won't. But that's what I have. So little dinky trailer, you know. People ask me like, how does it treat me? It's pretty well. Am I being taken seriously? It all depends how you present yourself. So if you present yourself professionally, with proper marketing, proper I have merch. I don't have it on me right now, but you guys seen it. Proper merch, proper marketing, so you don't look like some $99 Joe Schmo pulling up. But as long as you have an image that you know what you're doing, you're professional, and you can do the job right. You know, you went the extra mile to deck out your car or truck or whatever. Most customers don't understand setups or what it is. As long as they see that unit, I get a lot of people asking me like, what is that thing? What does that do? You know, so obviously most consumers don't have surface cleaners. So as long as you have that, 200 feet of crazy line that you can go whip all around the house, makes you look professional, you know. So they don't question the integrity of my business or my skills or expertise. And obviously, you know, you got chemical tanks, and they kind of see that, you know, you're better set up than just a $99 Joe who's going to be pulling stuff straight from their car or their trunk and stuff. That, in my sense, I mean, I started with that. I'd done a few cleanings like that, and I said, no, I don't see myself doing high ticket sales when I go door knock on these crazy rich developments. And my pressure washer, I have to yank it from my car, or my hose reels, you know, it just kind of screams Joe Schmo $99 guy. So I don't know, I didn't have confidence in that door knocking on those rich doors with that kind of setup. So that's why I took the time to do my marketing, blasted my car out. Same car, I didn't change the car, don't have the means to do it. So just upgraded my marketing, so lifted my image up, and now I door knock freely on these rich neighborhoods, and I have that image that kind of goes with that. And like I said, so far I'm landing jobs and people not giving me a hard time that it's a Prius. And obviously over time maybe I can upgrade the car, upgrade to a truck or a SUV or something like that. My real long-term dream is to upgrade to a Tesla and do it with the Tesla. I don't know, I mean, I see people doing it, and I want a Tesla for that purpose, to kind of continue running a lean operation to where I have the very minimal setup that I need, but I can do flat work all day long and house washes, no issues, especially with AgJet. And even if it's bigger houses, you know, you usually spray down like two sides of a house, not to get it dry, depending how hot it is. And, you know, just take care of 2 sides of the house, wash it down, do the other 2 sides of the house, and this does it all day long. So no, at this point I don't see any point for upgrading to 8 GPM or anything higher. Obviously that's my dream down the line, but once the work picks up and I make some money, then that'll be a different conversation. But for time being, that's my trailer overview, and hopefully it'll help you guys to get an idea how to convert your trailers or do mini builds like these to where everything is you know, in its proper place and serves very good function. And I don't really have a lot of extra nonsense. And I mean, yeah, soft wash system, I can't do roofs with the setup because you need hotter mixes and soft wash pumps and all that stuff. I don't have that here yet. Maybe one day I'll upgrade that, but for time being, it is what it is, and that's my setup. So a lot of guys have been messaging me with Priuses and some other light small vehicles, so hopefully that's going to help you, and that's what I've done for myself, and it works for me. And with this setup, I do the jobs fairly well and easy, and I am taking seriously when I door knock on expensive neighborhoods with that marketing. So do something like that and present your nice image of yourself, and people won't question you. All right, peace out.